Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be me discussing the species of Gasmoxians and how I believe there's multiple different species on the planet of Gasmoxia. If this is your first time coming to the channel, I release Crash Bandicoot content every weekend. I discuss theories, lore, I debunk some theories, I do reaction videos, I review the games and merchandise that comes out. Occasionally I'll get an interview in here or there, and, anything and everything Crash related I try and cover here. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, maybe consider subscribing. That all said, let's jump back into the topic at hand, the Gasmoxian species. So interestingly enough, right off the bat, we already come into a hiccup with Gasmoxia as a whole. It has three distinct, different visuals of what it actually looks like. This is the most consistent one that they've used the most. It's from the comic, the Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled comic. And here it is in its original appearance, what people assume is Planet Gasmoxia from Crash Bash. Here it is in-game. So it's a red planet with noxious gas around it. It's really the only thing that makes them similar is they have the same noxious gas around it in the atmosphere there. Because as you can see, the colors vary differently with its colors, like they're drastically different. One being yellow, the other being red. And then this one makes no sense at all to me. Why they counted this as Gasmoxia. It's one of the unlockables in Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. It's a sticker and it's called Gasmoxia. So not only are the colors different again, it also has a ring around it, which again does not fit with the other versions of what Gasmoxia looked like. So if we had to pick one of the three, I personally would choose this one because in-game you can see the planet looking mostly like this one. So this is what I consider the canon version of Gasmoxia. With all that said, now we're going to jump into the different landscapes of Gasmoxia. So from the comic, this is the only image that we see of planet Gasmoxia. It says, a dark, smoggy city. And you can see all of the smokestacks with all of the stuff fuming out of it. And interestingly enough, the evil toxic gas, you have Zem there farting to add towards the gas. So the only thing we see is the dark, smoggy city in this comic. In Crash Bash, it is assumed this is Gasmoxia. I don't believe it's ever been stated to be Gasmoxia. Oxide flew to this planet, and you battled him. Never in any supplementary material did I see it called Gasmoxia. We all just assume it's Gasmoxia. So this would be another location in Gasmoxia. So we've got the smoggy city, and then this one appears to be like carnival themed or a circus themed level. You've got the lights shooting up into the sky, and you have the what looks like circus tent buildings. The overall aesthetic makes me think of a carnival or a circus. And then again, this is another assumption. It comes from Crash Bandicoot Nitro Kart 2. Sorry for that flub up. The titling of these three games is very ridiculous. Crash Bandicoot Nitro Kart 2. That's what this game is. And this level is called Oxide's World. So it's kind of assumed that this is also Gasmoxia, but it doesn't really resemble anything. Like, you've got that big planetoid floating there, and we don't see anything like that in any other shots. And, it's got these giant mountains. I mean, I guess if we were to assume that this is Gasmoxia, it is possible that there could be other locations, like how on Earth we have multiple different areas. We can have a smoggy city, and then we could have a desolate area. So this could work. If you guys want to headcanon this as Gasmoxia, this is also another location. With all that out of the way, now we're going to actually touch up on the species. So here we have a Gasmoxian. Nitrous oxide is the first one we're introduced to. They have the long snout, the four legs, and they have those like pouches right behind their eyes. He was in Crash Team Racing, Crash Bash. He cameoed in The Wrath of Cortex, Twinsanity. He has been in many, many games. So this is what we think of when we think of a Gasmoxian. In Crash Bandicoot 4, we're introduced to other Gasmoxians. They're not named, but you can see they have this similar appearance to Oxide. They have the long nose, the pouches on the side button next to their eyes, and if he was to stand up, we could assume he has 4 legs also. And here is another one. He's much larger than Oxide. Oxide is kind of slender, whereas this guy's a chunker. And now we jump into a drastically different type of Gasmoxian. This is Zem. I believe his name is a play on Zembillis, who was the artist for many of the characters in Crash and in Spyro. So this is Zem. He is the only one we ever see, but he is stated to be a Gasmoxian. So how that works is we on planet Earth live, and everything that resides on this planet that's living is counted as an Earthling. So if you have a human and a dog, and an alien comes from space and comes to our planet, both the human and the dog will be classified as an Earthling. So I believe there are multiple different species on this planet that have sentience. This is another example of a Gasmoxian. And we have one more to share. This good boy is Zam. He appears to be a lizard dog. So I believe that this is a pet of the Gasmoxians. Not only can he be a pet, but you can train them to be guards. So like a guard dog. I don't have the best shot of this, but if you look right here, if you go to Hyperspaceway, and when you jump off the ramp, if you instead go to the right or to the left rather than going into the main tunnel, you can see that there are different colored dogs from the same species as Zam that are guarding all of the prisoners in the cells. It's really cool. They're like blue ones and red ones, yellow ones. There's all sorts of different Zam dogs guarding these cells. I'm sorry I couldn't get a better picture of it, but if you want to check it out yourself, like I said, just go off the ramp and go either to the right or the left. When you land next to the cell, the mask will take you back to the main track, but you will be able to see the different Zam dog species. So now that you have the 3 species in mind, I would like to explain my theory as to how they coexist with one another. So the standard Gasmoxian that we think of would be Oxide and all of the ones that look like him. And I believe from this image coming up, I can explain where they differ. So this image is taken from Toys for Bob, and it says that the Gasmoxians, as they are born, are fully aquatic. So the oxide-looking species of planet Gasmoxia all were born in the water. So it says juvenile Gasmoxians, born fully aquatic. And then when they get out of the water, it says the yellow bulbs by their eyes there, they're actually sacs that filter and process toxic Gasmoxian atmosphere. So I believe the standard looking Gasmoxians that we see were all ocean based, whereas Zem and Zam lived on the earth of the planet. So the Zem species trained and have Zam species as pets, and the Oxide species came from the ocean. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you learned something new about the Crash series, I hope you're excited about that. If you knew all this stuff already and have come to the same assumption as I did, congratulations. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you in the next video. So you take care. Have a great night.